Hello, book club. This is meeting number 4, and today we are going to talk about the theme of fear in the future within education, classroom, students, teachers. Things that come to fear is having my students become better writers. Like Rafe mentions in the book on page 48, writing will help them for the rest of their lives, whether they are applying for college or a job. Writing is the future. The younger students, such as second or third graders, might not understand it, but writing is used every day in their lives. Whether we work in a business, store clerk, factory, restaurant, everywhere we are, writing is part of our lives. I know some of the students have mentioned, including my nephew, that they and he want to be YouTube content creators. And my thought is because when they see them, they believe that they don't use any writing to make videos. But in reality, they probably do use a sketch note or organizers to talk about what they will be posting in their videos. Those organizers usually contain notes in which, in this case, is considered writing. One day, the third graders had mentioned wanting to be like Mr. Beast, when the teacher and I mentioned that he writes his scripts, notes, paperwork, he sends out letters to his employees, businesses, charities, and like places he needs to set up, these intense places he visits it and he writes these letters to get permission of allowing them to set foot into reserves or restricted areas. When we told them that Mr. Beast writes, they were like in shock to hear that. They assume that he just does it for fun, but there's so much behind that we don't know. And hopefully that made these students realize that writing is an important aspect of our future. I hope that when we mention Mr. Beast writes connecting to the real world, they will realize how important it is to use it. Writing is an expression as described on page 59, yet it is the power of the written word that might change a life. Once students see that writing is an expression that can be done in many ways through the power of their minds and imagination, they can grow up to write the books that readers around the world will fall in love with, as explained on page 57. The fear is the students not using their imaginative creative minds to capture that. Another fear of mine is math. Even I am not the strongest with math, so I feel for those whose numbers don't click in their head right right away like others. I feel like today what I'm witnessing in the classroom is mostly the teachers are being asked to finish a unit in such a short amount of time. In the same classroom in third grade, the teacher had mentioned to me that this unit that they are doing as we speak has one evaluation, three checkpoints, and the assessment. That's like five quizzes and tests in just 2 weeks, maybe half, 2 weeks and a half. So I agree when Rafe says students today are so busy preparing for exams that they often do not have an actual understanding of numbers. As schools become more and more beholden to standardized testing, students are drilled to death with multiplication tables and math problems based on solely on computation. I feel like that's overdoing it to these kids. The lesson is being rushed, and it's as we are not able to help those who are behind because we need to get going to the next unit. It seems to me basically a do or die situation, which in reality, when I mean dying, like we are killing their education and setting it up for failure to those who are not strong at math. I think that's the reason why at times as they get older, these students don't volunteer how they used to in third grade or younger grades because as they get older and mature, they are way too far of the fear of embarrassment if they answer the problem wrong. Like Rafe says, we can rescue student in history by if getting it wrong, we can make it into something encouraging. And as someone mentions, as Rafe says about Abraham Lincoln, and a student comments that he is a pilot, then you can rescue by commenting that in a way he was a pilot. But if we're solving a simple equation like 2 plus 2 and the answer that they give is 5, then their peers will know that he's wrong and can result in shutting down as math gets harder each grade level. Rafe has said if kids are going to succeed in mathematics for many years, they have to develop a true love of numbers on page 65. I couldn't agree more. Numbers and writing are two very important factors in our lives. We use numbers to calculate our bills, paychecks for work, prices, and so many more. We need to demonstrate to our students not to be in fear of the numbers because we as educators are here to guide you and never make them feel alone, and that those standardized testings should never make you feel like you're overwhelmed or frustrated or wanting to give up. Because during those times I want them to show these tests that who they really are, and by demonstrating the best work they have ever given to me, and prove these standardized tests that they're wrong of knowing their knowledge. Thank you, and I hope you have a good night.